Kevin KT Turner, and joining me over here is Jared Sandler. Hello, Jared.
What's up, Tiz? How you doing, man?
I'm great, and this is quite frankly the first tight one of the year that we've had so far. They've all been pretty comfortable going into the fourth quarter.
No, we were talking earlier. I mean, this is I think a great test. The beauty of the NFL, obviously, it's not like college where one win knocks you off path, or one loss, excuse me. So this is a good test. They're going to have to come up with a big stop here. Saints, both teams have given opportunities away. One team's going to say, well, we gave away chances. The other team's going to say the same thing. But I think for me, one of the things the Saints have done, they've left points on the board when they've gotten short fields or good opportunities like this. So I'm curious to see what they do here.
Well, Taysom Hill's in the game, and it's 2nd and 5. They're on the Cowboy 11, trailing 10-9, and Taysom Hill looks like he's probably going to get stopped a little short. That was 3rd and 5 coming up. I want to mention that if you go to MyBookie.com, use the promo code FANCRED, then you've got a really good opportunity. If you put a deposit down, use the MyBookie.ag, and you use the promo code FANCRED, whatever deposit you put down, you'll get that in cash as well. So you get a little free money basically by going to MyBookie.ag. The over-under live in-game was 35.5. The live odds are Cowboys by 1.5. The Cowboys now lead by 1, but right now, 3rd and 7 for the Saints, kind of pushing. They did put Teddy back in the game.
Wow. Oh, I think did that come out? Are they going to say it hit him? Are they going to say that's a shot to the head?
I think they're going to get a personal foul. You just can't touch the quarterback. There's no excuses anymore.
Was that Jalen or whoever it was looked like try to engage contact as he was sliding. I mean, at some point it becomes.
Teddy was sliding. Teddy would have been down at the 8 or 9, and it would have been 2 yards short of the first down.
Man, that's tough. I mean, when you slow a play like that down, it's very clear that Jalen probably came late. But, I mean, the reality is these decisions aren't made in slow-mo. That's really, really tough on Jalen. Oh, wow. Okay, they're leaving it off.
I do think the Cowboys caught a break there. I'm going to be honest, though, because we've just seen what the league is. I'm not saying I agree with all these calls or whatever, but anytime a quarterback gives up his body, you can't touch him. The Cowboys got one earlier where Von Bell kind of touched Dak a little late after a slide, and the Cowboys got 15 yards on it, even though, the point is the quarterback gave up his body and the Cowboys linebacker hit him in the head. So I think the Cowboys catch a break there, and Absolutely. That will bring in Willie Lutz, who's going for his 10th, 11th, and 12th point of the night, and this would give the Saints a 2-point lead. Want to go upright bet here? $1?
Yeah, 10-1 odds?
Yep, got it.
I'll take the $1.
Well, that's good. You get the $1.
There you go. Those bets probably not ones you can make on MyBookie.ag, but there are a lot of other awesome bets you can make on MyBookie.ag. I love a good .ag website, KT. I don't know about you.
Oh, they're the best. And if you go and you look at what they're doing over there at MyBookie, first of all, the FanCred code. Okay, hey, my promo code's FanCred. So let's say I put in $100. Right? Well, there's 100 extra bucks to play with. It's free. It's just free money they're giving away. So
buy one, get one. Buy $1, get $1.
Use the promo code FanCred. Now, if you want to talk to us, hit us up in the chat box. We'll get involved with you, get you in the mix. If you want to go live on air with us, you can do that as well. We'll pop you up. We'll have a little 3-screen thing going because we're fancy and we have that technology. But right now, the Cowboys trail 12-10. They only had one drive in the third quarter, Jared. They got the ball once. They scored on it. They caught a couple breaks on it. In fact, the story's already been written for this game. Whatever the story is, the losing team is going to be like, we should have won, but we shot ourselves in the foot 9 times. Like, that's the story of this game. Hey, we've got Jeff from Denton on the fan line. Let's get Jeff up in here. I like this. We got Jeff coming in on the fan line here in a second to hang out. Remember, mybookie.ag, the promo code FANCRED.
What's up, Jeff? Fellas?
What's up, Jeff? How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm about to go to sleep. This game is a real yawner, man.
Were you not anticipating a field position battle game tonight?
No, I feel like Linehan's running the offense again.
Yeah, I think this is a good first of all, the Cowboys haven't played a good team yet this year, but specifically a good pass rushing team.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in the first half is just they hadn't played pass rushers like that. I mean, the Saints and the Packers, I think, were tied for the top pressure rate coming into this week at like 37%. Like that's an unreal number. I know it's early, but that's an unreal number. So that's a good little test. It looks like the offense got it going. I like getting a little Jarwin action. That was kind of the big play on that drive. But this is going to be a field goal game, man. I don't think this is going to all of a sudden turn into a track meet. I think this game is what it is.
Yeah, I think it'd be a different ball game, though, if we had Gallup. I mean, truthfully.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I mean, you look at Devin Smith has had no impact in the offense tonight. But that's where I like when they can mess around with two. You saw Pollard get in and draw a penalty. You have two running back sets you can play with and two tight end sets that you can play with because this is a type of game where Jarwin and Pollard kind of mismatch guys could probably make a little difference, and they did on that last drive. But, that's where I'm at.
Well, I wanted to hop on and say hi to you guys. Jared, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How's it going, dude?
It's going, brother. It's going. You got a long off season ahead?
October's pretty easy. Then we get basketball in November. So hopefully stuff to keep me busy, man.
Well, man, you've got really good content too, man. You're one of my favorite follows on Twitter along with KT and Kavanaugh.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I don't know where to look, so I'm sorry if I'm looking in the wrong place. KT's beard is so sexy. It's tough to keep my eyes off of it.
Cool. Well, I'll see you guys later. Y'all have a good night.
See you, brother.
Thanks for hanging with us, man. Appreciate it, Jeff. That's a great Jeff.
So, hey, you're talking about the game plan. Jeff was talking about Gallup. I think it's like a really interesting point because Gallup's obviously a guy that can stretch things. It's tough to know, though, like, I'd love to see the all-22s and see what sort of coverage the Saints have downfield on some of these routes. It seems like they're doing a pretty good job in the back end of the secondary, preventing big plays and basically forcing Dak to try and check down his way all the way down the field.
And the Cowboys are generally in the same personnel grouping the whole game. They're generally in 11 most of the time, which means one running back, Zeke, one tight end, Witten, and then your three wide receivers. But I just find it very interesting that the touchdown drive they had, they got a penalty that was huge, a little pass interference on Demario Davis.
Yeah.
That was on Pollard, Simon Pollard, and then the big play to Jarwin.
Yeah.
That's a different personnel grouping that maybe the Saints weren't ready for. They come out here, they're in 11 again, one running back, one tight end, but they're empty. So you're going to have Zeke in the left slot. You've got three on the left, including Witten being one of those guys. And it's 3rd and 6, and a big play for the Cowboys on their own 29. And Dak had time and threw it to two guys.
We get it. I think they're going to catch a break here.
It seems like you can complain about any Cowboy penalty you want, but man, I'm a Saints fan. I am just disgusted by these penalties.
Yeah.
There's another one. Again, defensive holding. The current live odds on MyBookie over-under is at 30, still 35.5. And then a Saints minus 1.5. So that's pretty great. MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code FANCRED. Get on over there. 1st and 10 from the 34. Is that Pollard in the game or Zeke?
No,
it's Zeke.
That's still Zeke.
Gosh, Cowboys caught a break there, man.
It's crazy. It really seems like the Saints. It's almost like you can predict what their conversations were as far as defending the pass. Like they're basically forcing the Cowboys to play from the first down marker to the line of scrimmage. There's like nothing going on beyond that other than that play from Jarwin. Even just as far as attempted passes, it seems like Dak's throwing everything in front of the down to gain or right there, or the line to gain or right there.
There's just been nothing deep in the Saints game plan for that, man. We got a little end around to Tavon Austin. Cuts it upfield. Gets about 3. 3rd and 2. Let's get some of these comments read. You can also chat with us in the comment box if you'd like. Mark says, worried about this drive. Dak feels less close to securing that bag this week than previous weeks. Well, yeah, I would agree. But that bag's coming either way. It's going to be that bag might have more to do with when Mahomes signs than anyone else. I think Dak's team's played this. As long as he doesn't get hurt like Trubisky did today, Dak's team has played this pretty well because he's going to get a ton of money. 3rd and 2, big play at the 41. Oh man. We got a Cobb drop. Throws behind him, but got to catch it.
Yeah, you got to catch that, especially just barely beyond the first down line. It's like 4 yards. It's not – oh, yeah, dude, he's got to totally catch that.
If Dak leads him, then Cobb dies.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is it's 3rd down. You got to be able to just, stop, forget about the yak right there, catch the ball, and then, whatever you get. But, I mean, he's got to be able to catch that. That pass was not that far behind.
The Deontay Harris, you got to cover. He had a big touchdown. Well, it's punted into the end zone, so it's a touchback. So there's 11:25 left. It's 12-10 Saints. I want to say that Dak threw that ball. It was at his face mask. Now, it was behind him. So if he's running this way and it's over here, but still, if Dak leads him, he was going to get knocked out by the cornerback over there on that side. Cedric says, got to sustain some type of drive. The defense is gassed. Yeah, that's true. The Cowboys offense, that was just their second drive of the half. So
yeah,
that's kind of
losing possession.
Rich said that he's holding his ass. So I don't know what the occasion is.
Celebrating Sunday Night Football. I love watching a Sunday night game and holding my ass.
Yeah, no, I'm not making excuses. He absolutely needs to catch it. What I was saying is, I was kind of making excuses for Dak. Dak can't throw that ball in front of Cobb, or he would have been knocked out. And then you're playing with just Cooper and Devin Smith, and Cedric Wilson. Like,
you disappointed by you? I mean, maybe it's a game plan thing, but are you disappointed by Devin Smith so far since Gallup's been out?
I mean, I know he had a couple. He had the big play in Washington. Had a big play last week. I'm just not crazy about.
In general,
it's fine depth. It's just there's a huge drop off. If you're going to play in that personnel group all game long, like they're doing, 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, 1 tight end, then I think they're better off with Pollard or Jarwin on the field than they are Devin Smith, I guess is what I'm saying.
Listen, I've been impressed with what Witten's done this year. He's been more of an impact in the passing game than I would have guessed, and maybe my bar was just really low. But I do this is not Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski or anything like that in terms of like an impact 1-2. But I do like the ability to utilize both guys, and it does seem like Jarwin up the seam has been able to impact games in ways that Witten probably can't at this point.
I agree a ton. And I like this comment by Cedric. Says New Orleans is playing offense like Dallas last year. I kind of anticipated this game being this way. This is how the Saints are going to try to play with Teddy Bridgewater. They don't have the weapons to they don't have 3. I mean, they have Thomas and Kamara. Like,
listen, Teddy Bridgewater's a great backup quarterback, but I don't know. I was never a huge Bridgewater guy in Minnesota. This guy, he needs short fields, and he's gotten short fields tonight, and he's been unable to punch it in. And I think you're seeing teams basically challenge Teddy Bridgewater to beat him because it's not like Alvin Kamara's had big play after big play like he typically does. I think the Cowboys are just trying to take out Kamara as best as they can and let Bridgewater make throws on them to beat him because he's not going to do that consistently.
And Al says, I like Bridgewater probably way more than you do. And I know I did back when he came out of the draft. But like in that stadium, the way this game was, I just don't think the Cowboys were. The Saints are ready to. Both teams game plan for each other well because these are 2 good teams, contenders. Like it's just, I saw this kind of being like an Errol Spence fight last night. Just kind of going 12 rounds. I just wanted to let everyone know that I like boxing.
Dude, that's a way to drop your boxing pants right there. I was pretty turned on by that.
Dude, round 11 last night was dope.
I
First,
heard on Twitter.
another holding for the Saints. The Saints have got to be pushing 15 penalties. Check down to Kamara. So as long as the Cowboys tackle, and they do, we'll have second down and long. Now, I want to remind you, Etherly says the refs are getting the best of the Saints. They absolutely are. They really are. I thought there's no Cowboy fan can go to the water cooler tomorrow and say, "Man, the refs got us last night," unless something crazy happens, because it's been more in favor for the Cowboys tonight than it has been the Saints.
No doubt on that.
They're showing some good cut-ups of Leighton Vander Esch making plays, kind of flying around. 2nd and 13 for the Saints on their own 17. We're getting close to the 10-minute mark. So, okay, little Michael Thomas kind of fumbled.
We've seen this. We've seen Michael Thomas basically in tandem with Drew Brees take over games. They're Michael Thomas is essentially Jarvis Landry's line last year with the Dolphins, like 12 catches. Or 2 years ago, the Dolphins, he'd have like 12 catches for like 71 yards. I mean, that's not quite the low number of yards per catch for Thomas, but like they're really just they're preventing the big play, and he's racking up catches, but all within about 10 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Looks like we got Quinn, Tank, Malik Collins. Jalen was going to rush, and Jalen was rushing the passer, and Michael Thomas got open. Pretty good job on the shallow underneath route. Now, are they going to call offensive pass interference for a pick play?
Maybe. Where's the flag?
I don't know. But
there is an line.
Just the area of the field and the route he was running was prime for a pick play. Ooh, this is huge, man. They may wave it off. I'm just saying, anytime you see that shallow route and the wide receiver running towards the sideline, it makes you feel like it's a
Brees getting his FaceTime. Well, has Drew Brees been on TV more than Dak Prescott tonight?
He has.
Let's go down to the sideline and see what mannerisms Drew Brees is going to demonstrate now.
Hey, go pick up a football, Drew.
Yeah.
What did they get here? I don't understand what the penalty is.
Tiz, thoughts on sorry, I didn't mean to just derail your penalty talk. I'm curious your thoughts on Robert Quinn tonight. Seems like he's been active, just unable to really finish.
He's been unreal. He's been the best player on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, he is torching the left tackle off the line every single time. But, you know, the Saints had it, and both teams have had a pretty good game plan of getting rid of the ball. I think that's why you haven't seen anything down the field. I think both.
I didn't mean isn't finishing like in a negative, but like if you look at the box score, you're not going to see, I don't think, the numbers that demonstrate the type of impact Robert Quinn's had tonight.
Well, you had a sack that was called back by what was the penalty? I think it was a pass interference penalty on that one. But he had a sack called back. He also made a tackle where Teddy scrambled for a yard. He's almost a sack. So 2nd and 5, Saints kind of working a little ball control here. I don't know about you, but my TV froze for a minute.
Yep, mine did too.
Okay.
And then Bridgewater's laying on the ground. Man, I'll be honest, when my TV froze as he was rolling to his right, it looked like they were setting up some sort of a big play, but I guess that didn't happen. Let's look at the replay. See if the replay freezes too.
They were trying to set up a screen or look on the wheel route, and they just didn't have time. Neither team's had time to throw the ball downfield. I think that's anybody who's concerned about these offenses. Just remember that the defenses won this game, at least the game planning, much like last year when the game was 13-10. So 7:35 left, and the Saints are taking a timeout. Saints are taking a timeout before 3rd and 6. I think that's a good timeout because this is a huge play coming up. Yeah. If you go to MyBookie.ag, a little live betting action. I think the over-under is 35.5. So if you want to get in on that under, that might not be a bad idea. Also, looks like the line Saints -1.5. So, get in and dabble in that. MyBookie.ag. The promo code is FanCred. And if you drop in some money, deposit some money, and use the promo code FanCred. FanCred will double that deposit for you because FanCred and MyBookie are buddies. Like they got it together, good combination, and they want us all to be friends. So what happens if you go in, use the promo code FanCred, just like that, boom, free money. I like free money. Money to play.
I like money.
Maybe I get in. Maybe I'll get some action on Pittsburgh, Cincinnati tomorrow night. You know.
What's the line at right now?
So Saints -1.5. So
-1.5. So what are you doing on this? You playing this? You taking the points? You giving the points?
The way things are going with the penalties, I mean, the Saints have the ball. So if you're talking about like really want to get like into the science of it, they would say the probability of the Saints winning is a lot higher.
Sure.
But I feel like the Cowboys are going to win.
You think Jerome Bettis could help either one of these teams right now? Serious question. Do you think with the way the game is played, Jerome Bettis, if he was a rookie this year, would have the same type of career that he had playing in the era he played?
No.
Me neither. I just don't think that the ground and pound running back really is much of a thing. I mean, you got to be a guy that can operate in space a little bit better than Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis was a between the tackles runner. How many of those guys are really thriving right now? And they usually have a little more mobility.
The guy that comes to my mind is Fournette, and you think about how they use him. He's about 15 times more athletic than Jerome Bettis, and B, they throw it to him now. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I want to remind everyone, you can pop in and chat with us in the chat box. If you want to go live, just hit the fan line, and you can come on and talk to us. We can see your face, and you join the show, did the show with us. But I'll also make sure we're reading all your comments pretty much as well. So you look at the division, Cowboys got a chance to make a little ground if they get up and get a win and go to 4-0. With the Eagles and the Giants at 2-2, Washington at 1-3, 3rd and 6. Looks like that's going to be Tank, Malik Collins. They're going to rush Jalen.
Hey, Michael Thomas at the top of that trip set on the right. Oh no, never mind. That was
they got a blitz off the edge. Oh my goodness, is that Robert Quinn again?
He's been so good. He really has. I mean, as you said, he's been their best defensive player, and what a big. As Tank tries to kind of get back into his rhythm from the last couple years, I mean, getting Robert Quinn when, in the time they got him, with Tank maybe getting off to a slower start's been huge.
I mean, Armstead just must have not known the snap count because he didn't even try to block him. Now, I know Jalen might have had him confused right there because they were looking at him, but Armstead didn't even move. So he must have not known the snap count. So Morstead, another bomb punt. I mean, dude, he was one of the team MVPs last week in their win over Seattle with some huge punts.
You're right, though. I mean, this is basically, and you don't associate the Saints offense like this and the way the Cowboys have been playing so far this year. You wouldn't equate them to trying to win this sort of a game, but they're basically playing a field position game, and Thomas Morstead's helping, and you need that with Bridgewater because obviously – he's not a guy who's going to, make the big play and finish drives. At least he hasn't been tonight. They're really playing a field position game, which is unlike the type of game the Cowboys have played the first 3 weeks.
So right now, if you go to mybookie.ag, the live odds are basically a push now. So you want to get in, flip a coin, maybe you want to make a little deposit by using the promo code FanCred. You can go ahead and take a little shot here. I feel like Cowboys are going to win this game. 7 minutes left, or a little under 7 minutes left, and they are back in their own territory, but I just feel like they've got it in them for one more good, solid drive, and I'm going off momentum from their first drive in the second half. Cedric and Matthew both making comments on Robert Quinn there, showing out, give him all the money. He's perfect, and most of Cowboys media – thought that Randy Gregory was going to be a part of this thing this year. And he's just not hearing anything. So as Evangelist says, Robert Quinn wants some pie as well. How much pie would you be given to keep Robert Quinn for next year? Too early?
So what's the deal? So they don't sign him. They get what, a 3rd round pick essentially?
It's going to depend on how much he plays. I mean, right now, it would be, right now they're getting they would get a fifth for Beasley. So, from a comp pick standpoint, Beasley probably plays more than Quinn, and then you look at their performance over the end of the year, probably a fourth or a fifth.
Okay.
But what if he's a 10 sack guy? I think you got to consider it, right?
Consider bringing him back.
I guess this is where I get to how much am I paying Cooper and how much am I paying Byron Jones, or am I paying Byron Jones? And
this goes all the way back to the pie and how you want to split this up and where your priorities are and to what degree it's a priority. I mean, he's he's 29 years old. The production's been good. He had that one great year in St. Louis, right? Didn't he have almost 20 sacks? But
it was playing a little different. But that's still
one big year. You're right. In a contract year, you get 10 to 11 sacks. I mean, now all of a sudden, what's the price tag going to be?
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if I'm willing to mess around with that due to age.
I got a question for you after this play.
We've got Cooper for about 7, and Marshawn Lattimore's done a great job on Cooper tonight. Cooper hasn't really been able to get free, and again, the Cowboys haven't had time for him to get down the field. But Cowboys have a very doable 2nd and 3 coming up. 6:30 left, trailing 12-10. I'd like to hear your question.
Yeah, no, Kellen Moore just so good looking. I was a little fixated.
Have you noticed that he's gotten a little bit like a little clean shaven? He's starting to look more like a coach.
Okay, so here's my question after that play. So Dak's done a great job in a sense, or you could look at it and say he's done a great job taking what the defense has given him, checking down, playing the underneath game. With the way rules are enforced these days, seems like teams are rewarded for trying to throw downfield. Do you want him to keep trying to check his way down the field? Because that's not an easy strategy. I almost wonder, I'd love to see if there have been opportunities where, you can take the 5-yard pickup, but maybe it's better to take a shot downfield.
Yeah, and that's just hard to know until you see, the whole film. We got 3rd and 2, and Dak scrambling to his right, throwing on the run, incomplete, trying to get it to Cooper, and the Cowboys will have to punt. It's just there's been pressure in the middle. There's been pressure all game long, and it just hasn't been open, man. And I'm telling you, I don't think this is some Cowboy offense concern.
Right.
Although there's an isolated, just kind of comeback route for Cooper there.
No, the Saints have a really good defense. This is not the Saints.
The defense, yeah.
Yeah.
I think people looked at last week in Seattle where Seattle got like 450 yards. It's like, man, that was all garbage time. You watched that game. It was all garbage time. And Seahawks just trying to get back in it. Punt to the New Orleans 38. So New Orleans will take over. 5:20 left. They lead by 2. Hope that 3rd and 2 does not bite the Cowboys in the butt. Cedric says Dak should have gotten out of that run. I think Cedric's talking about the 2nd and 1 play.
Yeah, where Zeke got stuck trying to go through the left side of the line.
I think that's still they haven't ran well at all tonight. In fact, I'm trying to pull up live numbers here, find out how well they've ran, because it hasn't been worth anything. I think you're trying to mix it in because you're going to be passing some or quite a bit on this final drive. Here are my statistics. I have Zeke 18 carries for 36 yards. So killing it out there, man. Dak is 19 of 26 for 168 yards.
Hey, who are you taking, Zeke or Kamara, if you could pick right now? Money's equal.
Kamara.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We had a question earlier about it was from Cedric about Zeke lining up and running a real route like we're seeing some of these running backs do. Listen, Zeke is, and he actually did line up in the slot. I think he was motioned into the slot that last play. But
he did that a bunch tonight.
Yeah, Zeke is capable. in doing that in the way that, he's athletic enough to go run routes, but that's never been his strength. Like these running backs who catch passes, like for instance, in the way that Alvin Kamara can catch passes, that's not necessarily Zeke's thing. Zeke is a check down guy who might get a big pickup on a screen or something, but he's not a guy that you're going to take to the slot and try and let him just take advantage of mismatches. That's not his strength in the passing game. I think he's capable of having like a 50 to 60 reception season, but he's just not going to get it in the way where you're featuring him as a receiver to try and create a mismatch like some of these other running backs are able to do. I don't know if you agree with that. That's just kind of my assessment of Zeke in the passing game.
Kamara and McCaffrey are the two guys who I would take over Zeke, and they're just more dynamic players.
Not Saquon?
They're faster. Oh yeah, Saquon. Yeah, but I mean, Saquon's more of the mold of Zeke than he is Kamara and McCaffrey. Although they're kind of using Kamara like the Cowboys use Zeke and like the Giants use McCaffrey. But yeah, I didn't forget about Saquon. Is definitely in that conversation. But it's just hard to know until you see what the Saints were doing on the back end too to take things away. It's hard to really know.
Yeah, and I think it is and I think it's a really good secondary. I think the pass rush has done a nice job, but I think that secondary's also made that pass rush have a little more time to go eat.
About 6 yards for Ted Gibb. The Cowboys. Sorry, I've been drinking a couple beers, so I'm starting to get it. A little late night tired.
Obama, man, happy Rosh Hashanah.
But 6, yeah, of course. I think I know what that means. Jewish holiday.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, if you see it, are just like right there is Malik Collins again tearing through the line of scrimmage in the interior. I mean, dude, the Saints don't have time to throw the ball. They haven't had time, but they're doing a good job of getting rid of it quick and hand off to Kamara. We got a 3rd and 1 coming up here, and there'll be about 4 minutes left after this play. So, Liam, have we run a screen, try to open the box a bit? They haven't done a lot of that. Probably because they haven't had time. Like, even if you try to run a screen, it might blow up. I mean, the Saints are a very athletic defense. Marcus Davenport, they got Sheldon Rankins back, Cam Jordan. I mean, they're very athletic guys who can make plays. I mean, it's just kind of feels like they're not on the level of the Bears, but they kind of feel like how they made Minnesota play that game against Chicago today.
That's a right there.
Good quick pitch play to Kamara, first down. And now we have 4 minutes left. Saints 12, Cowboys 10. And Cowboys game management will come into play here. How are we going to handle these timeouts, things like that? I think you save them for now. But this is another area of the game. There's so many plays in the first half I think we're going to look back on. The Zeke fumble, choosing to go for it in the first place on 4th and 1. That ball nearly popped out too. It was almost
that was a really nice play by Armstead, just kind of getting out, being an athlete, and just screening Jalen. You don't need to have a big time block in that situation.
Handoff to Latavius.
Yeah,
there's 6, and we have 3:20 left. So
you're in favor of not using the timeout here, right? Well, based on what you said.
No, I'm still saving it.
Okay.
I'm still saving it, but now we're almost to the point of playing for a 15-10 game.
Yeah. For sure. I think at this point, definitely.
Slants, outs, seems very vanilla tonight. That's what English says. It's just hard to tell, man. It's on the TV. You just can't see all those routes. It does seem that way, but yeah.
It's very. I mean, I think we got spoiled the first 3 weeks. Receivers were running free. I kind of equated it to like if you watched Oregon back in the Marcus Mariota days, the NCAA level, it seemed like he was constantly throwing to an open receiver. It didn't matter at what depth level, and that's what Dak was getting to do here. That's not the case tonight. He's not just the receiver is running free, and so he's forced to take. It seems like the most conservative option in each route combo.
Another 3rd and 1. Great point by Evangelos. Time of possession, 34-22 Saints. Defense just getting gassed. I think that's a good point. 3rd and 1. We're near the 2-minute warning, and the Cowboys give up the first down. So we go to the 2-minute warning there. And now I think you will start talking about using your timeouts and things like that.
Yeah.
Live odds on mybookie.ag. And again, if you use the promo code FANCRED, you will get your deposit. So if you deposit money, they'll double that. So mybookie.ag, promo codes FANCRED. The live odds still 35.5 on the over-under. Oh, my God. I mean, it seems like you should just go and bet the under, like right now, because it's 22 points and there's 2 minutes left. Disclaimer, I'm not responsible for anything that happens to you, but.
Well, I just bet my house on it, KT, so I'm coming for you.
All right. MyBookie.ag, they do have Saints 2.5. Looking at that, like that's, Saints lead by 2 now. I mean, the Saints win this game 12-10. They could get a first down and kneel it out.
Oh, yeah, good call.
So they really don't have to do much. It's time to get a stop. So hopefully the Cowboys. Go ahead.
That would be very appropriate for this game if they get the first down, they kneel it out, and that's the way this game ends. Because the Saints did nothing that there's really nothing dynamic about the Saints. The whole story for them offensively was the inability to finish drives, and kind of be appropriate if they didn't finish this drive with points, even though that they don't need to do that to win. I'll say this. It's impressive that the Saints are able to win this type of game because we saw this in the Super Bowl. Getting to the Super Bowl, those teams won high-scoring shootout type games on both sides, but in the Super Bowl, it became a very low-scoring type of game, boring, but you've got to have the ability to win this type of game. And I think the Cowboys have demonstrated in a weird way tonight they've got the ability to do it, even though they're on the wrong side. But definitely the Saints have demonstrated the ability to win this type of game.
Everyone's talking about, the Saints and having a vanilla game plan last week. And the one thing I think I'd keep in mind, I'm going off what I think I know about Sean Payton. The Saints were up in that game the whole game. That Saints-Seahawks game was never really close.
Well, but you know what?
Well, they had a defense scored, and then they had a punt return.
Yeah.
So Sean Payton's the type of guy. I know most of the league would work, say, one day at a time, and we'll get ready for next week. I think Sean Payton probably put some things in his back pocket too. Like I thought it was interesting that Taysom Hill only had 4 snaps last week. Now, I think he only had about 3 or 4 snaps today, but they've definitely tried to implement him in some big moments. So. I cannot believe on mybookie.ag that the over-under is 35.5 right now. Use the promo code FANCRED, double your deposit, and maybe get in on that under.
Yeah, I would take that hard right now.
33. Oh, good play by Jalen Smith. Really everyone. Sean Lee, Van Der Esch was there as they tried to go to Kamara on the right. Cowboys will burn their first time out. We've got a lot.
Thoughts on Jalen tonight?
I mean, Van Der Esch is their best linebacker, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's flashed way more than Jalen has, but this defense is kind of set up for Van Der Esch to make plays.
Yep.
It's not set up for Jalen to make plays. That's set up for that position, Van Der Esch to fly around and make plays. So Jalen's been fine. I don't buy the stuff that he looks slow or anything. I haven't seen that. I mean,
buy it, of course.
Man, it's just hard to. We're a month into this thing. Like these teams are just now getting into actual football shape. Like that's a legit thing. I don't think people talk about enough. These teams really aren't conditioned very well yet. 2nd and 11. Teddy will dump it off with fullback action. We're gonna have a 3rd down here, Jared.
I'll take my chance with that. I'll take my chance with Teddy Bridgewater dropping back to pass.
So this will make it. Xavier Woods is now holding his shoulder. This is not good. Wait, his helmet's off. Well, now he's standing up, but he can't move his right shoulder. So, now he is moving it. Xavier Woods is hurt, but whatever. So 150 left. 2 timeouts have been taken by the Cowboys. So they have 1 timeout left. 150 left. It's 12-10 New Orleans. Let's see what Sean Payton dials up here because they're not going to run it. Surely. With Sean Payton, they're not going to run this, right?
No, I don't think they will, but I do think they kind of fall in line with what they've done. I think they end up checking down to a high percentage completion type pass to give them a chance to maybe pick up the first down while ensuring the Cowboys have to burn the last time out. I don't see them try with Breeze. I wouldn't be surprised if you would have seen a ball go about 12 plus yards downfield. I just don't see that with Bridgewater right here, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
3rd and 8. This is where Kamara can eat you up out of the backfield. This is what makes me nervous. And I know he is running a sprint out, but they got pressure.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, what a play.
Oh, my goodness. A sack, and now the Cowboys will burn their last timeout, so it's 4th and 3. It's 4th down and a lot. And they go out of field goal range.
That's – man,
I mean,
it didn't seem like really had an opportunity to throw it away, but I wonder if he's just better off taking that initial sack instead of trying to spin out. And, man, what a costly sack there.
Kerry Hyder just destroyed a double team, which forced Teddy Bridgewater back around the other side. I mean, the guy who made that play, Jalen's going to get credit for the sack, but Kerry Hyder made that happen.
And it's Quinn kind of taking on the double team as well. I mean, the impact that he's had tonight kind of indirectly helped that play kind of unfold the way it did too.
And now the Cowboys will have around 1:30. It's 1:45 left on the clock. Cobb is in. He's kind of your fair catch specialist. Great punter. SMU's Thomas Morstead in for the Saints. But the Cowboys just need a field goal now. So that's what's huge about that is it's now a field goal game. Morstead will catch this at about the 40. He'll probably punt it from the 42. Cowboys don't go heavy on the trying to block it. An angling kick, and Cobb fair catches at the 13. So it's got to get Maher time, right? So you got to get to the Saints 40. You know, Maher can make it from 60. I know he can. So you need to get to the New Orleans 42. So you need about 38. You need about 48 yards. Well, I'll say 45 yards just to have a little fun here. Because Maher does have a thunder leg. 1:39 on the clock, no timeouts. Dak, no time to throw it. Well, he did have time to throw, but not a ton. And is that who is that? Oh, and Tyron's down. Uh-oh. Man, we were looking at 2nd and a lot, and Tyron is –
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, this is really bad. He's limping. Is that ankle or knee? He's on his right knee. Oh, man. So
I believe that was David Onyemata with the sack, by the way, KT.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to say it right there. I was wondering if that was Rankins, and it wasn't because Rankins is back.
Yeah.
That's where the pressure's been. It hasn't been on the edge for the Saints. It's
been right up the middle. Yeah. Oh, and then Tyron kind of getting rolled on.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the Tyron here a little closer. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
And Zach Martin kind of getting beat up a little bit on that play in terms of allowing the pressure.
The Saints were very confident in Sheldon Rankins against Connor Williams.
Yep.
So I'll be interested to go back and see all that. But now we have 2nd and 21, 1:15 left. And I'm just thinking about Tyron's ankle now. Dump down to Zeke. Zeke can't get out of bounds. He gets to the 12. A little room to breathe, though. We got a minute. They need about 40 yards to make magic happen. Oh, man. 3rd and 12 here. I just don't like how much.
Oh, that's big right there.
Super catch. First down, ball on the 26.
Hey, Dak's done a great job staying in the pocket and not totally bailing. I mean, he's taken some hits, made some big throws tonight.
That was a huge job. They've got to review that, though, from the booth because that looked so questionable whether Cooper caught this. And I think this will actually be good for the Cowboys just to have a second. As long as he caught it, it's good.
We'll know quickly whether he caught it or not, and they essentially get a free timeout here to plan a play, whether it's 1st down or 4th down.
That is a catch. He had his hands under it.
Did he? It was tough. The helmet was blocking my view on. All right, right here.
That is a catch. There's not
Yeah,
overturn that.
Yeah,
Catch.
for sure.
Oh man, that tyrant ankle is bothering me. But
We'll get to that later.
so when Dak got hit there, was it from the backside, from the Cam Fleming side?
Yep, backside. Oh, I mean, it was a split second away from having that stripped before he even had the forward motion.
So let's say this is a catch and you're at the 26-yard line. You essentially need, that was Cam Fleming getting his butt beat by Marcus Davenport.
You got, I mean, gosh. Yeah, it's a catch. At this point, 34 seconds left. Even if it's just not totally there, I don't know. I mean,
this
he
is
throws an yelled at. I want to see him take a shot downfield. I really do. I just feel like we haven't seen that at all.
I want Jarwin in the game. Witten's in the game right now. I prefer Jarwin in the game right now. Witten run at the same. Dak just gets pressured again. Ball.
Okay, that's probably going to get. I mean, they got to they're letting it play, but that one he definitely had the forward motion. I could be wrong. I don't think this is going to stand. I understand what they're doing here.
No, the refs are taught to let it play out, and they should. I totally thought that Dak was throwing the ball forward there.
Yeah. If the ball went forward, which is also key. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a forward pass. That's incomplete. All right. So this kind of works out in a weird way for the Cowboys too. They're, again, without timeouts, essentially getting an extended timeout to figure something out. I like what you were saying about Witten, because Witten can run up the seam all he wants. He's not a threat up the seam. Jarwin's the guy who can be a threat up the seam, especially because with the Cowboys not having any timeouts, they're going to funnel you to the middle. They'll give you the middle. This is sometimes where it's like the no timeout equivalent of a prevent defense. They're begging you to throw the ball up the middle so you can sometimes get 12, 15-yard chunks up the middle and maybe turn it into more because you don't have any timeouts.
I'd prefer him in the game. It just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Second,
I agree.
Witten stays into chip. Dak has time, launches down the field, but he overshoots Cooper. They got a hold. Lattimore stopped Cooper's progress. You can tell, and that puts the ball at the 50. We're getting pretty close here now.
Yeah.
Oh, they're throwing it on Cooper.
Oh, wow. That's killer right there.
Oh, wow.
They're a big play away from this not being the case, but that almost feels like the game with no timeouts because they have yet to demonstrate any ability to bite off plays in big chunks.
Oh, man, good flop by Lattimore. I mean, Cooper and Lattimore are very physical, and they've been fighting each other all night. But Lattimore had his hand on Cooper's back, and Cooper's kind of shoved him out. I mean, I personally don't call that stuff at this point in the game, but a good flop by Lattimore. Second 20, Cowboys on their 16. Oh, what a killer. Dak's got time, though. He's got time. Oh, he knocked it deep into quadruple coverage.
Yeah.
Up for Cooper. Worth a shot, man, because if you get
Yep. If you get a 15-yard play that stays in bounds, the game's essentially over. So if you're going to go middle of the field, you got to go deep like that. You know, it's not by the book, but I mean that's your best chance at this point.
There were 4 guys.
He still was the first guy to get 2 hands on it.
He really was.
Yeah.
Man. 3rd and 20. They're going empty here. No, Zeke's back there. Over the middle.
You got to get there. You got to get it.
5.
They're going to have to run a play.
3, 2. They get it clocked.
Oh, wow.
Just while we're having fun here, that would be a 70-yard field goal.
Yeah, I say let's do it. All right, hey, waiting for this. The Hail Mary review. Throw a jump ball in the end zone, get the push, get the ball in the 1-yard line with an untimed play. Bam. It's going to happen at some point. And maybe tonight's the night.
Now Jarwin's in the game.
Well, yeah, because Witt can't get downfield fast enough.
And they're going to call a timeout on New Orleans going to take a timeout, which honestly, fine, but it gives these Cowboys wide receivers a chance to to at least catch their breath a little bit because they're about to sprint 50 yards down the field.
If we get the same clock operator from the end of the first half of the Saints, maybe the Cowboys can run a quick slant or a quick out and get about 5 yards. I'm not actually serious, but
they actually went back and reviewed that too.
I remember that Tampa Bay game, that 9-3 game. Well, that was back in like the John Gruden super bad, you know what, Tampa Bay defenses.
Yeah, man, that offensive PI just hurts so much.
Yeah, because not only did you lose the yards, but you also lost the time as well, which kind of kills you.
All right, let's see if Dak has time to even launch this thing. I mean,
yeah. Let's see. The Saints are sending. Oh, they're sending 5. Yeah, they give him the time. Yeah, that's it.
What a great call by them.
Yeah. Sometimes you see teams send 3 in that situation, but they sent 5, and they made sure Dak didn't have the time to get the ball anywhere close to downfield.
So the Cowboys fall is picked off by Marcus Williams, and the Cowboys fall to 3-1. And I got to be honest. I mean, this feels like the type of thing we'll see in the playoffs, Cowboys Saints. I like the Saints team, and I know once they get Drew Brees back, but that defense is a lot better than it gets credit for. There are some questions I have about the Cowboys offense, and hopefully you'll tune in to 105.3 The Fan this week from 10 to 2 and get my thoughts. Jared does the Star Chat podcast with Ari Timpkin. You can hear him there. This is where I'm not an overreact. The Cowboys play the Packers next week, and I do feel like the Cowboys are a better team than the Packers. I truly believe that. But
I'd be curious. The Packers have had such a tough time stopping the run. I know the running game was not a strength of the Cowboys tonight, but I wonder if next week, even if they're not a run-heavy team necessarily in pass-run distribution, I got to believe that Zeke will be much more of a factor with the way the Packers have struggled to stop the run this year.
Yeah, and I think we'll see what the Cowboys try to do. They had running game issues this week.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the overarching question is going to be what's going on with Tyron.
Sure. Yeah, that's very true. The Packers have been able to rush the passer pretty well.
The Tyron ankle getting rolled up there looked worse. Looked bad. He tried to walk off a little bit, and you could see him walk with his own power. He was putting a little weight on it, but that's a dangerous one, man, and that makes me worried. I can't overreact and say this offense sucks. I'm not doing that. I
agree with you, but we're gonna get that. See how they played the Dolphins, the Redskins, the Giants. See what happens if they play a real D. I mean, credit to the Saints, but I'm not ready to throw a panic flag yet on the Cowboys offense.
I'm not either. I think if you look at what you could see clearly, what you couldn't see on the TV, broadcast was the coverages and the route concepts and all that. What you could see is the defensive line kind of beating the offensive line. Both defensive lines beat the offensive line pretty well. And this game came to little one-possession games and little things. Did the Zeke fumble actually happen in the first half? I personally thought he was down and it was a first down, but they can't put enough to overturn it. So, I think there's questions like that. But, in the end, I think you'll learn more about the Cowboys next week when they play the Packers at home. It'll be the big game of the week. It'll be a 3:25 one. It'll be the big Fox game of the week. I think we'll learn quite a bit about them. Because if you go back-to-back weeks against tough defenses and put up 10 points, then I think you got legitimate concerns. But I'm kind of in the boat now. I've just kind of chalked that up to two good teams playing each other, and somebody had to win the fight. Like last night with Shane Porter and Errol Spence. Someone had to win the
fight. That's your analogy. I don't want to steal that one from you.
Still them all. How many games to the
nickname? What's it? The Truth? The
Truth.
Is that what he is? The Truth?
Yeah. I think I'm going to change my nickname to the False.
Yeah, you should. Or the Super. You should change your name to the Man with a Lot of Integrity. Kevin, the Man with a Lot of Integrity Turner.
Kevin, Moral Values Turner. Mark says we'll get out of here quickly, but Mark says, Jared, are worried about the Giants and Daniel Jones suddenly at 2-2?
You know, it's funny. I was driving home from the Rangers game, and I actually thought about that. I was like, wait a second. Could the Giants sneak back in this thing? You know, Wayne Gallman looked fine. Looks like he could be a suitable fill-in for Saquon. You know, he's not going to give you necessarily the same big playability. I don't think so. I'm not worried yet because I'll tell you the Eagles I thought looked really good on Thursday, so that's still more of a concern. But I mean, I'll say this: the Giants, the next time you play them, they're not going to be a walkover win. They're going to get Golden Tate here in a couple weeks. They'll get Saquon back. Sterling Shepard's taking a step forward. Evan Engram's really good. At a minimum, that's a pretty good offense. Not a great offense necessarily yet, but a pretty good offense that is going to present a challenge. Whereas when the year started, there really wasn't a whole lot to worry about with Eli as the guy under center.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him yet. I'm more worried about the Eagles still, and I just think that Thursday night game against the Packers is going to affect the NFC a little more than people think right now. Because
Dude.
A 2-2 Eagles team, whatever you say about the Eagles schedule, the Eagles' last 5 games are cakewalk. So
Yeah.
that's where I go. The tough games they have now, they're dealing with later. So,
hey, one last thing. Cedric saying Rodgers is going to torch this defense, man. You and I have been talking about this for a while. I know he threw for 4 bills, but, man, it just still seems like he misses more throws per game than he ever used to. So, I guess I don't have the same Rodgers nightmarish fears that maybe I would have had 2 years ago.
I think we also need to check in on this Xavier Woods injury, see if he's okay. But the 2 storylines of the week to me are, will Devontae Adams play for the Packers and what's going on with Tyron? Because if that ankle is bad, then this is not good. Cam Fleming is just not going to cut it, man.
If Devontae's out, then gosh, I mean the whole fear of Rodgers torching the defense just kind of goes out the window because he gets a bunch of receivers who just really aren't able to make plays.
That's true. That's true. Thank you to everyone who's hung out with us tonight. Really appreciate it. We're going to do this again next week for the Cowboys-Packers game. As usual, we'll pop on right when the fourth quarter starts. We'll make it happen, and it'll be a great time. Thank you to MyBookie, mybookie.ag. And if you use the promo code FANCRED, they'll double your deposit. So, hey, just make a deposit. They'll double it. Promo code's FANCRED, though. Don't forget that. MyBookie.ag, thank you to them. They're awesome. Jared, congrats on another successful Ranger season.
Thanks, Tiz. Appreciate it. Looking forward to some freedom.
Absolutely. And then Cowboys-Packers next week, week 5. It's always fun. Awesome. Rock on, everyone. Thank you. We love you. Bye.